Hello, Spanish learners. This is the Spanish Code Podcast. I am Christian Robinson, the owner of Spanish Fit. With me, as always, Nelfer Velilla, el autor colombiano, el profesor excepcional. And we're going to go through that today. Before we do, please remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and leave us your comments below. Now, what we're going to do today, if you are at level A11, A12, A13, if you've been studying Spanish with Duolingo and have a 100-day streak, this is a great class for you. What this is really a sequence. It's called Hack My Spanish, but it is a sequence of real communication, how we actually talk, and Nelfer's going to help us put it together today. Nelfer, how would you describe the Hack My Spanish for our viewers?
Yeah, whenever you're studying Spanish, you're going to take a lot of time like remembering vocabulary, learning like structure and masculino and femenino, the gender in Spanish. But what we do with the hack is to focus on what is important in order to speak, in order to convey like your ideas. We're going to be showing everything that we've been using during the last podcast, the present tense, the ing words. We're going to make a word together. I'm going to show you how to put them in a sentence, and then you're going to start saying more than a simple sentence like I study Spanish, yo estudio español. But when I want to say I study Spanish and I want to say the reason why and what I'm doing in order to become better, that's what we're going to do with this.
So what you're going to see isn't something that is traditional in any Spanish school anywhere in the world, but it works, which is why we call it Hack My Spanish. Basically, a little backstory here is Nelfer studied English for how many years, Nell?
Like for 11 years in the school because it's mandatory, then at the university, right. 4 more years.
Like everybody. So he goes through this horrible system of education for language, which doesn't really work. He knew a lot of words, but he couldn't string together sentences. So when Nelfer became a professor of Spanish, he went backwards. He created this system to learn English. And he did so in about 3 months. That's how efficient what you're about to see is. And in the future, we'll do an expanded version of what you're about to see, which incorporates the past tenses and other elements that are above this level. But for now, okay, let's get started with Hack My Spanish. Okay, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 parts here. These are things that you should all know at this point. Regular conjugation, double verbs, ser plus adjective, that would be la casa es roja, las casas son rojas. Ir, 1, 2, 3, ir plus a plus infinitive, and estar plus gerundio. All right, so let's get it started.
Okay. So probably you remember this. If you haven't seen the last podcast, you should go there and check every single one independently, because this is what is going to allow you to understand what we're about to do, how to make them work together, how to find patterns in order to speak, because that's pretty much what we do when we're talking. We use like combinations and conjugations of verbs, and then they allow us to express our ideas. We did already the conjugation in present tense. You need to remember that we have 3 types of verbs. AR, ER, and IR. And each of them, they have like their endings, and we did it already, and you remember maybe, but let's say it again. When we have the verb trabajar, which is to work, that's the one that we're going to be using now. Trabajar is an AR verb. You remove the ending AR, and then you have trabajo for me, trabajas, you, trabaja, he works, trabajamos, we work, trabajan, they work, or you guys work. So that's what you need to do with every single verb. If you're having troubles remembering all the endings, remember, focus on only the first person, trabajo. That's what you want to be doing when surviving Spanish, like provide information about yourself. Then you can play with a you word, trabajo, trabajas. Once you can deal with this, you can deal with the rest. So make sure you practice this way, and let's go to the double verbs now. Then we have the double verb. You remember that? 1, 2 structure. We conjugate the first one and we don't need to change the second one. If our verb is trabajar, is the one we're using now, to work, how would you say I want to work? You conjugate the first one, quiero, or necesito, tengo que, I have to. It's a special one that needs the que. Puedo, I can. Prefiero, I prefer. and then you put trabajar in front of all of them. No, you never change it. If I'm using I need or I want, it's always going to be trabajar because you conjugate it already here. Quiero trabajar. I want to work. I need to work. I have to work. I can work. I prefer to work. That's the double verb.
Right. The point is just remember, we're never going to conjugate two verbs in a row. So it's never quiero trabajo. No, that would actually be saying I want work as a noun. But if I say quiero trabajo, I'm saying I want I work. No, I say I want to work. Quiero trabajar.
Yeah, and the magic behind this is that if you know 100 verbs, you replace trabajar for comer, estudiar, visitar, aprender, leer. It's always going to be the same form in here. So if you know 100 verbs and you combine it with 5 verbs that we have here, you're going to know 500 sentences already. You have the certainty that anytime you combine each of this with any infinitive verb, you have a perfect Spanish sentence. It's complete. If I say, what do you want to do? And you reply, quiero trabajar. There's a sentence. You're providing an information there. Bien. Then we have the structure to give an opinion. Also, this is going to be also the present tense. You already know ser. We did ser and estar. What's the conjugation of ser? You can think about it. You can stop the video and remember how to say I am, you are, he is, she is. But the one we're going to use now is it is. It. It's one syllable in Spanish. Es. With this, you're going to say a lot because you already know, I guess, how to say important in Spanish. It's the same word almost. Importante. So you can say es importante, es necesario, is necessary. Es posible. I'm not translating this one for you guys. Es fácil, easy. It's difficult, it's interesting, etc. You can say that. And once you do this combination, you can see the structure here. You can add any verb. You're allowed to use any AR, ER, and IR verb.
So again, in English, when we say working is important, we go backwards in Spanish and we say to work is important. Okay.
Yes.
Es importante trabajar.
Yeah, and you're never going to add anything. Your brain is going to tell you, oh, you should put something in between. It is important to work. No, it's only 3 words. Es importante trabajar. Es importante comer. Es necesario beber agua. That's it. That's the structure to provide a general opinion about something.
When your brain wants to say trabajando es importante, just stop yourself because we're going to go backwards in Spanish and we're never going to have that ing. Es importante trabajar. Now, if you guys are hearing the banging going in the background, that's our neighbors. We should just call this construction Spanish, but we're not going to stop. We're going to keep going.
Okay, then probably you remember a simple structure that we did already, the 1, 2, 3, I am going to do something, ir plus a plus any verb. The conjugation of ir, voy, vas, va, vamos, van. You guys go. But in this case, it's I'm going to, you're going to, then you add the a, and then again, you are allowed to use an infinitive verb. So if you're saying, I'm gonna work, how would you say that? You have it here, you have the clue here. Trabajar, voy a trabajar, vas a trabajar, va a trabajar, vamos a trabajar. All of them are gonna work, and we're using the verb work, right? So finally, we have the estar plus ing. You remember, again, if you haven't seen it, I'm gonna be saying this a lot. Go back and check our podcast about the ing words, the gerundio. Because in this case, we're going to combine it with the verb to be, estar, and its conjugation is estoy, estás, está, estamos, están. Remember always doing this with your hands in order to remember who you're referring to. And then in this case, sadly, we don't use trabajar like here, trabajar, trabajar. That's when we're going to use the ing version of the verb. Remember, for the AR verbs, we replace it and we put ando, ando, bailar, bailando. For the ER verbs and IR verbs, it's going to be yendo, comiendo, viviendo. What's the ing for trabajar then? How would you say, I am working? Yes, you get it. Trabajando, estoy trabajando, and it never changes. It's always trabajando for all of them. So this is what we've been doing, and now how do we use them together?
All right, guys, so before we go there, just remember with I am going to, we have infinitive here, any verb, any full verb. But remember, you can always put a place there. I am going to work. I am going to the beach. Okay, voy a la playa, voy a trabajar. If I'm going to work at the beach, voy a trabajar en la playa.
In order to practice this, something that I can recommend you is replace trabajar. Take trabajar off the formula and put viajar, for example, to travel. Then you go, oh, it's viajar is an AR verb. So I replace the AR and I put viajo, viajas, viaja, viajamos, viajan. Then I replace trabajar with viajar. We're going to be showing this in the edition. We're going to put it. Quiero viajar, necesito viajar, tengo que viajar, puedo viajar, prefiero viajar. With this, not only you're practicing a new word, if you didn't know viajar, you're going to be like reinforcing, like learning and remembering it, but you're going to be also learning the structure. You're practicing vocabulary, structure, conjugation, everything in one exercise, one chart that allow you to exploit your Spanish a lot. Es importante viajar. Voy a viajar. Estoy viajando. So many things. And this is the core of the level A1. If you master this, you can say my level is A1. Of course, you need to learn masculino, femenino, plural, singular. But this is the core. With this, you can put more extra words and you're going to be learning a lot. Let me show you another way to do it. Okay, this is easy enough. I need a challenge. What can I do in order to make it a little bit harder? Put some context. For example, if your verb is beber, to drink, and then you go ER verb, I remove that and I say bebo, bebes. Okay, but that's easy because I have the clue here. I know what to do because it's telling me what to do. Put something extra. Bebo, oh, how do you say water? You take your phone, water, bingo, you're learning vocabulary by yourself. Agua, this is what I say often. I need that word. Bebo agua. Then, quiero beber, what should I say? A beer? Quiero beber una cerveza. Now I know beer, I'm going to practice it again. Quiero beber una cerveza. Es importante beber. What is important to drink? Es importante beber vino. Es importante beber café en la mañana, at the morning.
No, cerveza.
Oh, es importante beber cerveza. Voy a beber tequila. I'm going to drink tequila. So you're saying something extra. You're remembering more words. If you don't know when you get them in the translator and bingo. You're learning the words that you use often after to drink. Estoy bebiendo ron. I'm drinking rum. So the words that you use often, they are going to come. That's why we don't like learning through these apps that only teach you how to speak like about cows drinking milk. The cat is drinking the milk. I like buying apples. We don't care about those words. We're never going to use them like this. We're never going to be speaking about cows, milk. We need to build our own vocabulary. If you're a doctor, for example, and I give you 3,000 words that you should know in Spanish, and you're never going to see there the ones that you use to heal. I don't know what doctors uses, but the thing is, it's better if you build your own vocabulary. If we give you a PDF with 5,000 words that you should know in order to learn Spanish first, you're never going to read it. And if you do, you're never going to memorize it. You need to insert that in context and create sentences that make sense to you.
Right. So Nelfer didn't become fluent in English by doing this backwards and just doing it once. What did he do? How did he use an algorithm that he went through repetitively to actually ace English? He would choose 5 to 10 to 20 new verbs every week, and he would do what we call cycles. And he would do cycles repetitively, not just for yo, but also asking people questions through that entire cycle. So he would choose a new verb. What's a new verb? Okay, llamar, to call. Okay, yo llamo a mi padre 5 veces cada semana. Es importante llamar a tu amor. Entonces, voy a llamarla 3 veces al día. Yo estoy llamando a tu mamá. Ok, Nelfer me va a golpear. Pero, ok, entonces, en ese contexto, yo no necesité añadir como vocabulario. Yo necesité usar nombres de personas. Entonces, es un caso. So I only had to use names there. That was really easy. But with many verbs, we're going to have to practice growing our vocabulary. Okay, escuchar. Yo escucho rap, pero quiero escuchar salsa, right? Es importante escuchar músicas diferentes. Entonces, esta noche, tonight, voy a escuchar la música clásica. Estoy escuchando muchos tipos de música.
El ruido.
Estoy escuchando el ruido también.
Muy bien.
Bang, bang, bang,
So
bang.
what's the way to proceed with these cycles? Let's do it. I need to show you how to do it because once you have the chart, you have it like, oh, I get it. Now I understand this, but how am I going to work with this?
All right, so Nelfer and I will play. We'll do one. He'll go all the way through it, and then I'll go all the way through it, asking him a question, which is how you should be writing it down and then voicing it.
Yeah.
Practicing en voz alto.
Let's say I take the verb comer. I need to learn this verb. I keep forgetting it. So I'm going to take my chart, this one, and I'm going to create 5 different sentences with comer like he did before. So we have to create 5 different sentences with comer. What would be the sentence in the present tense? I eat. Let's do it first in English. I want to eat, the double verb. It is good to eat. That's the opinion structure with ser. I'm going to eat, the future tense, the 1, 2, 3 formula, and I am eating, the present progressive with the gerundio ing words. So you can stop the video if you want and try to say it in Spanish, but let's go and do it now. Como is I eat. But you can put the yo in front if you want, but it's not necessary. Yo como or como is optional. Quiero comer. Es bueno comer. It's good to eat. Voy a comer. Y estoy comiendo. That's it. You were able to create the 5 different sentences with comer. But then you want to put more context, like I said. Como pizza. Quiero comer pescado. Es bueno comer mucho. Voy a comer un salmón delicioso, a tasty salmon. Estoy comiendo una manzana. And then you can create ideas like this. There you go. So we have here the 5 different sentences. They are underlined. Yo como, quiero comer, es bueno comer, voy a comer, and estoy comiendo. The rest is context and linking words. What's a linking word? A connector, something that you use to connect to different sentences like but, pero, because, por qué, porque. Say it again. Because, porque, and, y, or, o. Let's see them. Yo como vegetales solamente. I only eat vegetables. Pero hoy, but today, quiero comer pescado. Porque a veces, because, sometimes, es bueno comer something different, algo diferente. Por eso, that's why, hoy voy a comer un delicioso salmón. That's why today I'm gonna eat a tasty salmon. But later, pero más tarde, porque ahora, because now, estoy comiendo una manzana. Because now I'm eating an apple.
So basically, guys, we have 5 sentences, and just by adding vocabulary words one at a time and really focusing on those linking words, and we have a link below with a list of linking words for you to help you with this exercise, but you can say a ton of things. And this includes the present tense and the future, obviously. Voy a comer is the future. So this is a perfect exercise, but it's also perfect to write this down and then do the entire thing questioning somebody. So the same 5 sentences. Number 1, ¿qué comes normalmente, Nelfer?
Normalmente como pollo, mucho pollo.
Okay, número 2 es, ¿qué quieres comer esta noche? What do you want to eat tonight? ¿Qué quieres comer esta noche?
Esta noche quiero comer pizza.
Un gran chorizo? Nah. He loves to eat a big sausage, apparently. Number 3, ¿realmente es importante comer verduras?
Es muy importante comer verduras.
So, I never had health education. I'm asking Nelfer, is it really important to eat vegetables? Okay. Now I'm going to throw you guys a curveball. Hey, Nelfer, ¿Qué vamos a comer esta noche? What are we going to eat tonight? ¿Qué vamos a comer esta noche, Nell?
Esta noche, tal vez, maybe, vamos a comer... no se me vino nada.
Vamos a compartir chorizos.
Esta noche, no. Esta noche vamos a comer hamburguesas, mejor.
We can share. We can share some sausages. At number 5, ahora mismo, right now. Oh, you had to look that up. Ahora mismo estoy comiendo muchas fresas.
And what would be the question?
Oh, ¿qué estás comiendo ahora mismo?
Super.
It's like, what is your diet right now? What are you eating right now?
So not only can you do it with information about yourself, once you master this step, like saying, I eat, I want to eat, it is important to eat, I'm going to eat, I am eating, then at some point you're gonna get sick of it. You're gonna be like, okay, yeah, it's not a challenge anymore. I know a lot of words. What should I do now? Practice with different people, and questioning like someone else is the best way to do it. ¿Qué comes? Yeah.
Yeah, guys, I actually really like it when you are comfortable enough with this drill, with this algorithm. Just start with the questions. So if you write your questions on this side, and then you go to the other side of the table and you answer those questions in the present tense for I, you're doing exactly what we want you to do. But the key here is going to be, if you choose 2 verbs a day and you go through this drill, you are going to become more proficient at Spanish and fast.
So this is the 5 steps that you should follow. First, take one verb, and insert it in the chart. Create 5 different sentences with this verb, like we did with comer, trabajar, or viajar. Segundo. Number 2, insert some context. Insert context. Oh, I don't want to say only the conjugation of the verb. I want to say something extra, like bebo agua, bebo vino, bebo café. Something that you say often when you say bebo, I drink, for example. Then link those sentences. How do we link sentences? By putting linking words. We're going to put a PDF with this information below with some important linking words that you should know. Probably you know a lot of them already, but we're going to share what is important. Then, number 4, do it with different verbs, more verbs. So you're gonna get sick of comer, to eat. Then do it like this. Okay, not only I'm gonna say one verb like trabajar, but you can say viajo, I travel. Quiero aprender, I wanna learn. Es importante practicar, it's important to practice. And then you link them again. I travel in Colombia because I want to learn Spanish and it is important to practice. Viajo en Colombia porque quiero aprender español y es importante practicar. I'm putting y and porque, because. And finally, you do it with more people. Because yes, you can be as narcissistic as you want when you're practicing at the beginning, but at some point you're gonna want to ask people to speak about your sister, for example, and then you say, my sister, she does this, she wants to do this, her mother likes to be with me, and then you can say that because you're practicing with more people than one.
We're 12 years old, by the way.
Yeah.
All right, so more people, what does that mean? Okay, you're getting really good with yo and tú. Let's do an entire cycle just for L, right? So choose a new verb. What's a new verb that we're going to talk about for L? Hacer ejercicio, to make exercise, to exercise. Okay. Tu hermano hace ejercicio. Does your brother exercise? Okay, and now my opinion.
The double verb. He wants to do exercise.
Right. So he prefers to work out on the weekends.
Yeah.
Oh, él prefiere hacer ejercicio los findes. Right? Findes en Colombia, fin de semana, fin de.
In this case, we don't conjugate because it's always it is. So, es importante hacer ejercicios para él. For him, it is important to exercise every day, todos los días.
Okay, so él va a hacer ejercicio conmigo el domingo. He's gonna exercise with me on Friday.
Yeah.
Y después vamos a comer chorizos.
And finally,
Él está haciendo ejercicio duro. Like he is working out hard.
yeah,
Super.
that's it. And that, with your 5 steps, every day you have something to do by yourself. Sometimes you find yourself like, what should I do now? I've been practicing, I've been reading words, and this is a good way to proceed and to come up with ideas by yourself and practice a lot. I did this for 3 weeks and I was sick of it already. I was needing more. I said, like, I need more challenge. If you do this every day with new verbs, at some point you're gonna be, okay, what's the next podcast? I'm ready to learn past tense. I'm ready to learn future tense. And we're gonna be providing this now.
Right. So maybe you guys are going on a trip. One note here on number 4. Okay, what are some verbs that I need to know to travel? Okay, so maybe one of the verbs is viajar. Obviously, the most viajar, to travel, right? What other verbs do I need when I am traveling? Oh, how about tomar, to take, like to take a bus, to take a flight. When we are traveling, we're going to buy a lot of shit. Comprar, to buy. What other verb can we add to that?
Study, because you want to study the new language that you're experiencing.
Okay, estudiar.
And learning.
To study. And then we'll add one more verb that we must know as a traveler. That verb is going to be conocer, which is to get to know a place.
Yeah.
Conocer, to get to know a place. You have 5 verbs that are imperative for travel. Okay, all right. Now let's just take this from we'll go through the entire cycle using a different verb for every step. Okay. So now but I travel in May.
Viajo en mayo.
Viajo en mayo. I want to take a flight on the 1st.
Quiero tomar un vuelo el primero.
Okay. How about it is important to buy your ticket in advance?
Okay. Es importante comprar el tiquete por adelantado. Vamos a poner esto.
Excelente.
Okay.
I am going to study Spanish in Barranquilla.
Voy a estudiar español en Barranquilla.
I don't know why anybody would study Spanish in Barranquilla, by the way. They have quite the heavy accent, but voy a estudiar español en Blink, en Colombia, en Medellín. Genial.
Finally,
I am getting to know some Colombians right now in California.
estoy conociendo a algunos colombianos en California. Do this like this.
Whoop, whoop. All right, there you go. So you're going to have to fight and you're going to have to work to grow your vocabulary to create as much context as possible. But we just used 5 travel verbs, right? And now you can go back through and you can ask your best friend, your imaginary friend, because we know that people who learn Spanish really don't have any friends. But you can ask that imaginary friends questions about their upcoming trip. And you can try to use all those verbs. All right.
Okay, I just underlined the core of every single sentence. Present tense, double verb, opinion structure, 1, 2, 3, future going to, and to be doing something, the progressive, the ing word, gerundio. That's it.
All right, guys, that is Hack My Spanish. It definitely needs to be rewatched and done with repetition. Remember to use different verbs. Oh, what else should you guys remember? Oh yeah, to subscribe and to like this video. And of course, we'll be back very soon with some more great videos and podcasts. Until then, hasta pronto, que estén súper bien.
Bien chicos, a practicar.
A practicar.